Let's get the people what they want.
The Wade O Radio Show.
So I owe a few people an apology. We're going to start there today, okay? I owe an apology to Kristen Gray. I owe an apology to G. Craig Lewis. I owe an apology to Lecrae. I owe an apology to Jackie Hill Perry. And I owe an apology to Preston Perry. I owe an apology to videos or segments that I've done on my radio show where I called them by name and actually used clips from them in those segments. And the apology is because of the spirit that I did those things with. It was a spirit of self-righteousness. And it is something that I have been dealing with probably the past 2 or 3 years off and on. And it's not something that I've dealt with before, but it is definitely something that I have been dealing with now. And that spirit of self-righteousness came out when I made videos or did segments on my radio show where I said, man, I'm going to prove that I'm right no matter what. And I justified it in my heart. And the reality is that's not right. That's not how we should govern ourselves as Christians. That's not how we should interact or deal with one another. That is not something that I believe God was pleased with me when I did those things. And so over the past couple of days, the Lord has really dealt with me in my heart and in my spirit about those particular segments and videos. And I've removed them from my channels as best as I can. You know what I mean? And so I just want to apologize personally to those people. I also want to say this about the trending topic segment on my radio show. I don't know if I'm going to totally discontinue it, but it will definitely be done in a different format if I do. And I say that because there's some things that, you know, when you read this book, when you read this Bible or any Bible, right, and you start reading the Bible, the Holy Bible. I shouldn't say any Bible. I don't want people to take that out of context. But when you read the Bible, the reality is this. It's like holding a mirror up to yourself. You start to see all your flaws. You start to see all of the things that you need to work on. You start seeing all the crooked places in your life. You start seeing all of the things that just don't measure up to God's standard. And one of the things that I've seen over the past couple of years is a self-righteous spirit. And it's funny because, you know, I've worked in places where you've had to take these tests that basically do a self-analysis of you. You know, we're talking the Enneagram test, we're talking the DISC profile, like any of those types of tests. And it always comes up, Wade has a strong moral obligation, right? And that's something I could wear proud. Like, yeah, man, I stand up for what's right. I believe in the truth and da-da-da-da-da. The challenge with that is there's a very thin line between having a strong moral obligation and being self-righteous. See, having a strong moral obligation is actually very noble when it's done in humility. But self-righteousness comes into play when being right is more important than how you treat people or how you come across or how things are communicated. And again, I can only speak for me. I know when I start to create this type of content, it's coming from a self-righteous point of view. And that's not healthy. It's not healthy for me. It's also not healthy for people that I may critique or people that I may criticize or people that I may, quote unquote, correct, right? It's not healthy for anybody. It's not healthy for all of you when you consume content like that and you feel like you're forced to choose sides, particularly when it's people that you're just like, I thought y'all were cool. And the reality is we are cool. And that's what makes it even worse. And that's why I said I need to do this publicly. I could absolutely get to probably most of those people privately, but I said I need to do this publicly because this has been a public issue. And the reality is it's not something that I'm proud of, but it's something that needed to be done. And it's something that hopefully in the future is not something that I slip into again. So I say all of that to say, again, to Lecrae, to Jackie Hill Perry, to Preston, to Kristen Gray, to G. Craig Lewis, I am sorry. I really, truly am. And here's the other side of it. The things that I made videos about or segments about are minor issues. Yeah, are they worth discussing? Sure. But maybe not on a platform. Maybe not to make whole videos about them and make people choose sides and potentially vilify or demonize someone. Like, that's not cool. That's not cool. And truthfully, I am ashamed that I engaged in that. I really am. And I know, here's the thing. I know it's so normal in society and culture now. It really is. It's normalized. And this is a personal conviction. So anyone else who makes reaction videos or you expose heresy hunters or any of that kind of stuff, man, listen, I'm not here to cast judgment on you because you got to do what it is you believe God has called you to do in your heart. I just know for me, when I start making content like that, it comes from a self-righteous place. And that's not a good place to be in, particularly as a believer who is trying to model to people how to live a Christian life, who's trying to encourage people to live a Christian life. And here's the other side of this, man. I thought about this. I said, man, every single one of those people that I made videos about or did radio segments about at some point, I'm like, I fully expect to see them in heaven. It's not like these are people who are far from God and I'm trying to correct some inerrant teaching. It's not like these are people who are not believers, who are not Christians, or who are not trying their best to live the way that God desires for us to live, and they're modeling it out for other people. It's not like that. And so I had to think about the impact that these types of videos that I was making or these segments that I was doing on my radio show were having. And I'm just like, I don't want to be a part of potentially taking people down a mental, emotional, spiritual path that's not healthy for them either. And so again, I won't be doing segments like that on my show anymore, whether it's on this channel or whether it's on my Holy Culture Radio Sirius XM show. It's not happening. Like, there will be some ways that we discuss pop culture and point people back to Christ, but it won't be in those same formats. And so that is today's trending topic. Thank y'all for rocking with your boy. I really, 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 truly appreciate it. And keep me in your prayers. Seriously, keep me in your prayers because I'm imperfect, just like all of you watching this right now. And there are times where you make a mistake or you fall into sin and you got to correct yourself. And obviously this is very humbling to have to do a video like this, but I know it's part of my healing process. It's part of my moving forward process. And so it needed to be done. And so thank you for your prayers.